Waiting for my turn to get my oil changed. Do cats like oil changes? Are cats allowed at oil change places? We'll find out. I just arrived at Fort Frederica National Monument. This is just the parking lot and it already looks gorgeous. The whole drive here looked like this actually once I got off the freeway. So I'm excited to see what the rest of the park looks like. This is a historic fort. I just love the landscaping on top of that too. They still have all the old street signs even though they don't have the streets or buildings anymore. There's several foundations like these that come with a sign that either says what it used to be or how it was destroyed. I'd never actually heard of this national monument until yesterday when I was looking up some ways to fill my time until it was check-in time at the motel. So I was looking up, places I can take a cat, and this one is a free national park site. Andy's back there enjoying the view, or pretending to, but yeah. This looks amazing. So this is called the King's Magazine. I think this would be a good opportunity to allow Andy to touch some grass. Really? Yeah, okay, I'll let you out, but you have to wear your harness. That's the rule here. Can we do that? All right, go run free. Now we're going somewhere for some reason. Where are we going? The palm trees? Nope, around the palm trees. Oh, no, not in the reeds. Andy's sad to be back in his carrier, but he was about to run into these grasses that probably have alligators in them, and there'd be no finding him. Barracks. This also seemed like a good opportunity to do some grounding. Probably going to do some other hippie-ish things during my weekend here. This is the African American burial ground. The shells mark the burial sites. There's another tombstone monument. And this is the burial ground for most of the rest of the community. I think this proves that you don't need to leave your country to have a completely new experience. This seems nothing like anywhere I've ever lived before. We can go check in now, but I recommend this place for anybody who wants to see it. I'm in Brunswick right now. I'm going to spend tonight doing some laundry. I was going to do it at my last hotel, but I'm glad I waited another day because this one is cheaper. I just got a coupon for a free car wash that's 2 miles away, so let's head there. My car probably needs it after driving across the country. Also their most expensive car wash. It's the $30 car wash, but they are giving them away for free on Instagram. And even in person, they say get your first wash free. So I guess today was all about taking care of my car. Got an oil change, a tire rotation, and a car wash. Today I'm exploring downtown historic Brunswick, and I'm already in love with this first park. I wonder if this is the same cruise ship that was in Savannah when I was there a few days ago. So the city is several years older than our country. I love all these little town squares. This is one of the biggest squares, and it has a fountain. After exploring the downtown shops, I decided to come back to the park where I started because there was a market that had a local specialty, Brunswick stew, so I got to make some local cooks very happy by purchasing from them, and I get to enjoy this view for much less than the cost of a restaurant. I got a sample earlier and this stuff is amazing. That's why I decided to buy a whole pint. So try it if you ever come to Brunswick. That bridge over there goes to Jekyll Island, which I don't think I'll be going to this time around. I enjoyed the national parks that I went to yesterday, and I think it's a lot more of the same of what I've already been seeing on this trip. Except there's a parking fee, which I've avoided so far. The last stop of my time downtown is called Lover's Oak. It's some oak tree with historic significance. I'm not sure why it's more important than all these other ones. And by the way, if you think this looks a lot like Savannah, you're correct. They have, both of the cities have the same city designer. So this tree was here when the Constitution was being signed. Wow. Getting down always harder. I have a few tasks to do today. First and foremost, go to church. Centerpoint Church is a local church, but it has multiple sites. This is one of the smaller sites here in Brunswick. And now I'm driving this narrow private drive through the woods because there's a hostel here that I wanted to check out. I'm going to sign off now because this is supposed to be a electronic-free camp-like environment, kind of like an adult summer camp or a family summer camp. So I just wanted to show a few quick views of the lake, and I will see you after I'm done here. I will show you the bathroom because it looks so cool. These frog murals. And because this is a camp, it is a composting toilet. Well, that was a really fun change of pace to just spend a day kind of like a camper, which is kind of ironic since it's been a month since I've last worked at a camp, but I was never really a camper at the time, so I was still, using my cell phone and computers and stuff like that. So this was a very good reset day, especially since I need to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. I have no plans for where I'm going to go after I check out tomorrow. But the main reason I came here to the hostel in the forest and to Brunswick in general was because I saw that Robin Greenfield was speaking here. I've met him a few times before in San Diego. Actually, my phone reminded me this morning that exactly a year ago he and I were walking across San Diego in his walk from the Canadian border to the Mexican border. So it was great to see him again. Of course, got his book and heard him speak. And I got to meet all the other people. This is a very, hippie-like vacation place, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's very incredibly unique with the tree houses and everything like that. It's a place I'd want to take my kids to. I think I've been saying that a lot throughout South Carolina and Georgia. I want to take my kids here. I want to take my kids to Savannah. I want to take my kids to the national park sites that I've been to. I don't even have kids, but that's another story. But yeah, so this would be a great vacation destination for the whole family. We are saying goodbye to our Brunswick motel. It wasn't the best motel. That's okay. Andy hid under the bed the entire time. But it was better than the motel next door. Look at that one over there. It's completely gutted out. It does have an empty pool. Don't know how that's an amenity. We are looking at 7 hours of driving today because we are going through the Florida Panhandle, which I've never been there before, but not really planning any stops, to go to Mobile, Alabama. This is Andy's first time in Florida. He thinks it's too hot here. It's my, 7th time in Florida? Why are you running? But this is my first time in the Florida Panhandle. The other times have been just to Disney World, and once to Miami, once to Fort Lauderdale. So far this has been a new experience, just driving through Florida. It's a lot swampier than I've seen in other trips. Just taking a little rest stop break. Andy smells something over here. He saw birds that he was running after. Made it to Alabama and I had to get cookie dough bites from Buc-ee's. They look really good. Morgan plates, haven't seen those in a while. I guess this is the West Coast parking area. Alright, let's make a quick reaction video to the cookie dough. It tastes like really good cookie dough. This motel has an indoor pool. Good morning. Today I'm going to look at the Gulf Coast. I got to see a little glimpse of it while driving, but this will be my first time actually seeing it. I'm now at Dauphin Island. It was a gorgeous drive-in, even though it took a little bit longer than I would expect from a downtown drive. But now I'm at the Audubon Bird Sanctuary. The drive-in looked nothing like this. It was very coastal community, so I hope to show you some views of that later on. But I chose this area because there's free parking and some nature trails, so I think that'll be cool to look at. You know, before this trip, I don't remember doing any boardwalk walks other than on a pier at a beach. But I guess they're really common in the southeast. We have turtle sightings.
Yeah, I see some fish down there. Yeah.
Lots of turtles.
Yeah. Yes, that was.
So fun fact, the 2 main colleges I went to, one had the mascot of the osprey and the other had a hawk mascot. And it's not till today that I'm learning that an osprey is a hawk. But there's one. And here in the background we're getting some glimpses of the Gulf. Let me know in the comments, do you call it the Gulf of America or do you still call it the Gulf of Mexico? Because I'm on the fence. Alright, my first time stepping foot into the Gulf Coast waters. Ooh. A little chilly, but it feels kind of nice. I really like this idea of having a bucket station so you can borrow a bucket to pick up trash. I did find a bead on my way over here that I'm going to throw away now. Less plastic on the beach. So one of the reasons I parked at the Bird Audubon trails was because I knew it had, or at least it was close to the beach, and it's one of the few places where you don't have to pay for parking. So I just saved 10 bucks. So Dauphin Island does have a historic fort. This is Fort Gaines here. And let's go back to the beach. I found more of these beads in a different spot, so I wonder what they actually are. I love this. Alabama doesn't have much of a coastline. A lot of the coastline that they do have is only accessible by private property, or Dauphin Island itself takes up a good portion of the little coastline. But they definitely do make up for it here. So something unique about this area is that a lot of the houses and other buildings are built on stilts. I'll show you some better examples when we go back to the main street of town. You know, I parked at the Audubon parking lot mainly to park for free with beach access, but these trails definitely have their own merit. Here's a good example of the house on stilts. Not much going on underneath in case it floods. So everything's on the main level upstairs, which we are, like, the ocean's way out there, so I'm surprised that flooding's an issue this far out. Throughout my entire life, most of what I've heard about Alabama has just been jokes about the people who live here. I think the people who live here might just allow those jokes to happen so they can keep hidden gems like Dauphin Island to themselves. So when I was researching this parking lot, I did hear there was limited parking. Thankfully it's a Tuesday, so not every spot is filled, but you might be more careful on busier days. And speaking of Tuesday, it is time for the weekly CC's Challenge! Happening every Tuesday, apparently. Plate 1, I was so hungry I decided to save the salad for the next plate. Plate 2 looks a little bit more standard. And round 3. Uh-oh, plate 4 looks a little less crowded and it's starting to get dessert. And here we are back at plate number 5. Will this be the end? And here's a very sad looking, yet record breaking, plate number 6. Let's go! So now it seems like 6 plates is the number to beat. I'll see if I'm near a CC's next week, but I actually learned today that, at least here, if I use my AARP card, I get a discount which is greater than the Tuesday buffet price. So I might go on a non-Tuesday sometime if they have that deal everywhere. And yes, you can get an AARP card in your 30s or your 20s. I think you can even get it in your teens. You might have to be an adult, but regardless, go ahead and get it if there's a good sign-on offer, because it's definitely been worth it for me. At least at this one isolated incident. And I also got free packing cubes when I signed up. That's about it. Well, I've been back in my hotel room for a bit just to relax and make sure this guy here got some dinner. Say hi. Or ignore us. But I am kind of done being in the hotel right now, even though I, think it was useful time, because I haven't actually been to downtown Mobile yet. This is my last night here, so I'm going to go experience the nightlife. Downtown Mobile is actually where Mardi Gras started in the United States, not New Orleans, but maybe tomorrow we can compare. I spent my time earlier today at Dauphin Island, and now I'm going to Dauphin Street, which is nowhere near Dauphin Island. I'm guessing that Dauphin is the founder of the Gulf Coast area, or Mobile, or the state of Alabama. I don't know. Or it's just somebody that could not pronounce the word dolphin. That's also a possibility. So I just parked right back there. I actually don't have any plans for down here. Didn't do any research other than how to park for free, which that's why I'm here in the evening, because parking is more ample and free and longer in the evenings. But other than that, I'm just here to sightsee, so let's go for a walk. So when I've been to Seattle, they have a bunch of decorated pigs around the city. Here, they have clamshells. I enjoy just walking around. Don't know if there's any specific attractions I'm supposed to see. And here's another shell. Made it to the bay. Found another shell. Note the Mardi Gras beads at the top. Check out the architecture and design of these buildings. So while I was resting back in my hotel, I did make a reservation for New Orleans tomorrow. So that's for sure where I'm headed. It'll be interesting to compare what I'm seeing here near Dolphin Street to what's actually going on in New Orleans.
It makes sense, you know, when I start thinking about it.
I'm curious what this Egyptian-looking pyramid is. Weird that there's no sign at all on the front. Like, there is no sign at all. I didn't realize they had a buzzed bull here. I love this place in Pigeon Forge. I wish I had known so I could have come when they were open. Actually, they're supposed to be open right now, so I'm not sure why they aren't. Well, other than some fine dining establishments mixed with a handful of bars, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on tonight. Then again, it is just a Tuesday. You might have a different experience on a weekend. But I think I'm gonna head back to my car and drive back home now. Good morning. Today is my last day in Alabama, or I'm actually gonna be leaving like within an hour and a half. I decided to spend some of this morning going down to the pool. I didn't actually get in because I do have some time to kill from the drive from Mobile to New Orleans. I'm thinking Disney, I guess. Port Orleans is a resort at Disney World. Not going there. New Orleans will be much more affordable than Port Orleans. But I decided not to get in the pool even though I came down here for that because I have so much time to kill. I decided to stop at a beach in Mississippi along the way, and it'd be nice to have a dry swimsuit for that. Might have some other fun stops along the way because I'm checking out of this hotel at 11 and can't check into the next one until 3. It's a less than 2-hour drive, so we'll have some things to do along the way. Welcome to Biloxi Beach in Mississippi. This is Andy's first time at the beach. He is kind of complaining right now, which he wasn't complaining until we stopped. See that? So we're gonna see how he does here. Hey Andy, you gonna come out? Why not? I guess Andy's really not liking the beach. I got him out for a second. I forced him out, put him on the sand, and he ran right back into his carrier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch the water just to say I've been to the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and maybe we'll just call it good. Sea turtle specialty since we just went to the beach. Andy's happier here at the yard for some reason. And this is my first time trying a yard milkshake, so I'm excited. Killing time at PetSmart. That was next to the yard. This is Andy's first time seeing fish. For real, I think. Is it?